And I am not gonna give up until I get it.
All my money got big, yeah, racks, way too tall, yeah, racks, way too tall, yeah.
What is going on, YouTube family? I hope you are all enjoying an amazing Labor Day weekend. Today is Sunday when I am filming this. I just got back from my second chiropractor appointment as well as grocery shopping. I changed into my comfy Alani. Aren't you glad it's not my same Georgia sweatshirt? Also, to all of my Georgia fans, how about them dogs, baby? And all my Alabama fans, roll tears roll. I can't believe you lost to Florida State. Anyway, I can't trash talk too much because I mean we did play Marshall. So, but wow, what an amazing weekend of football. Like if you're a football fan, great way to start off the year of football. Okay, it was great. With that being said, yesterday I had my steak and potato meal. We are reining it back in now that I am done with going out to eat with friends and stuff. Everybody knows during football season, I do not make plans on Saturdays. My Saturdays are booked. It's either time with my kids on the bye weeks or we are at the game, and it's just kind of how it is. What I like to do, and maybe this can help some people with if you have birthday parties or things that you're going to, but you really want to stay on track. What I typically do is on Saturdays, which are game days, I have two non-negotiables that I am going to eat at every single game that I go to. I even made it fit in my macros when I was tracking with Nicole. My 2 years that I was with her through football season is a stadium pretzel, which you can look up. Also, if you hear my daughter screaming in the background, they're playing hide and go seek. So if you hear her screaming numbers, that's what they're doing. But a stadium pretzel, it always tracks as like 300 and something calories. I always give it an extra 100. I always put it at 400 calories in my macros because of all the different variations in size that you can get, stuff like that. So I always put 400 calories, and I also do that because statistically, the pretzels that you buy that are similar in the frozen food section, if you go, they're like in a black box. Things that are very similar range in that calorie. So I always make sure that I account for a pretzel. And also my other thing that I love to have is just some chicken dip, some buffalo chicken dip. I love it, love it, love it. I actually have a recipe for buffalo chicken pasta on my channel, but all I do is just take the pasta out and it's the same thing. So I also know how to track that, and I'll have like servings of it and I make sure I make it fit. And then usually what I do for our tailgates is my dad sometimes will do like briskets and stuff like that, but I will bring my own pre-made hamburger patties with a slice of cheese. I will bring my buns. I will bring whatever I know that is logged in my food to eat. So that's how I've always done football season. I've never had a problem with it. I've always tracked. It's always been fine. I know that some people would be like, that's too much. Like, just go live your life. And I'm all for that. But there's a time and place to live your life, and there's a time and place to keep it together. And I know that I'm going to be at a game almost every single week until December, and I can't just fly off the handles every single time I go to a football game. So, it's kind of balanced, but also knowing that it's not necessary to go crazy just because you're at a football game and stuff like that. My balance is I track my pretzel, right? So, and my buffalo chicken dip. But that's kind of how I handle football season. And then if we're having a away game that we're doing at home, do the exact same thing. Or I try to see what my family is cooking because we always do a big party. If it's an away game that we're not physically going to, we will do a big party at my parents' house, and I will try to track for that. I also try to do that when I know that there's going to be a birthday party. If there's pizza at the birthday party, I just negate it because I'm like, if I have one slice, we're going to have 2, 4, 5, 6, a whole pizza. Okay. I just know myself. It's a temptation. I'm good as long as I don't put it in my mouth. I know that sounds terrible, but like I can look at it, I can sniff it, and I can say no to it. But the moment that I actually eat a slice, I know I won't stop. So normally when there's parties and stuff, I just go, oh no, I'm not going to eat. And like everybody in my family and stuff like that, they know not to like question or be like, about it. It just, it is what it is. So if you're going to tailgates, if you're doing stuff like that, you can do what I do, or you can do your own thing. Everybody's journey is different. Everybody can handle things differently. I know some people cannot handle the way that I do it. They feel like that's too restrictive or can cause more issues for themselves. totally fine. Totally fine. I'm just giving advice for, if somebody wanted to know how I personally do it. So anyways, now that, all the get-togethers are out of the way, it is time to lock back in 100% because I'm going to be honest, I was letting Saturdays get a little out of hand, okay? It was more than just going to dinner, let's say that. Like, I would come home, I'd have dessert too and stuff like that. The scale would reflect on Sunday, it'd be gone by Monday, but I'm like, what if I would have not have done that drastic? You know what I mean? Like, it wasn't like 4 or 5 pounds, right? It was like 1 pound to 2 pounds of water weight, and it was gone by Monday, no big deal. But it still was like, you didn't really have to go that crazy, girl. You could have just had the dinner and enjoyed it, right? So I'm really glad to be getting back into not having to go out. Like, I love my friends and stuff, but I'm ready to bring back, routine and stuff like that. And y'all might say going to football games isn't routine. It is for me because I've been doing it for 20 something years. Okay. We've had season tickets since I was 4. So I'm going to be 30 this year. So that's how long we've had season tickets. So it's been a very long time. And, so it's just habit for me. It's more routine. So it's not like going out with friends, necessarily. But anyways, we did weigh in this week. We were 239.0. We are still about 2.6 pounds away from where our lowest was, which was 236.4. But it is okay. In the span of a week, I had dropped the weight that I had gained last week. So in total, I had lost almost 4 pounds of like all the weight that I gained last week with all the stress and all that type of stuff. This week also was a great week. Brooklyn did very well. She ended up actually getting her ears pierced Saturday. That was her big thing that she wanted, was to get her ears pierced. And we said you had to have a good day every single day. And she did. We also are trying to cut out red food dyes. There's nothing in my head. The teacher brought it up as an idea because they noticed that she got hyper after eating because they wanted them to take a nap after eating. And I'm like, well, first off, when I eat, I get more energized. So, but I understand, like, I'm always for helping, the teachers and like trying to figure it out because there are a lot of kids that have red dye sensitivities, right? So I went through all of her food and the only thing that had it were the gummies. So we're going to be making a change for the gummies. So I'll be showing that in Wednesday's grocery haul, what I find, because the Go-Gurts, everything else, they were fine. So it was just the gummies. So we're going to be making that switch. But yeah, it was great. I had an amazing week with training. Cardio was not so good. I'm going to be completely honest, transparent. I was transparent with my coach. I'm going to be transparent with you. I only got cardio done twice last week. One of them was the day that you watched that I filmed, and there was one other day. We had a lot going on in the company, and like I was having to take my dad back and forth. We were getting rental trucks for an accident that we had a couple weeks back. The trucks are getting fixed, so we're having to get rental trucks. And then there was just a lot of other stuff that was getting in the way. And I know it's not a good excuse because I could have done it later at night, but I was just gassed, honestly, by the end of the night with everything. So, I mean, I could have had a way better week. I mean, excuses are like buttholes. Everybody's got one, right? So, I mean, I am kind of like annoyed at that because I was like, this is the first week I had new cardio and I completely bombed it, right? But it's okay. We're going to be fine. We're getting back on the horse this week. I have a backup plan for if something happens during my cardio session or I'm not doing my cardio session. I have a backup plan, which is I'm going to have to get my ASS to do it at night, okay? Like, no ands, ifs, or buts about it. I've got to do it at nighttime if I can't get it done because morning time is not good. Like, it's just, we've been down that rabbit hole. So my plan is to, literally try to get as much done, even if I only get like 17 minutes of it before I get a phone call that I've got to go do something. I still have knocked out 17 minutes and then I'll be able to do the rest, later. So that's the privilege of having a Peloton downstairs, right? It makes it so much easier. But that was one thing that happened this week. My shoulders doing great. I started my first injection of BPC. BPC. I gotta make sure I say it right. I say it so fast sometimes. I have to make sure I said it right. I did that yesterday. I'm gonna be alternating shoulders every day. They feel great. Went to the chiropractor today. She said my shoulders are even. I am, quote, symmetrical, which is great. She doesn't want me to come back for 3 weeks. Originally, she had wanted me to do 4 sessions back to back to back, and I was like, I financially cannot do that. I didn't tell her that, but I just was like, oh, like, whatever. And then today she was like, we've made so much progress. She was like, especially with you taking this peptide, I feel like we're going to have a lot more progress. She was feeling the blood circulating through my shoulders again. And she said all the knots and stuff like that were gone at the moment. So she wanted to see how it would do with training for a couple of weeks before coming back and seeing how it did, especially with taking the peptide and stuff, because she said that peptide is amazing. I've had multiple people actually, like even people in the CrossFit community that don't even do bodybuilding or anything like that, they've used it and stuff. So that gave me reassurance that, you know, I chose the right thing and I'm doing the right thing. So I really was happy that God placed those people in my life to make just the small little comments about it. Like not even, you know, like, hey, I'm taking this, like, what do you think? It was more along the lines of it just came up randomly and it just came naturally and they were like, oh yeah, you know, type thing. So that's kind of one of those things where I'm like, okay, reassurance, thank you. But it's not that hard. I'm loving it. Doing the alternation like she said. So hopefully we will see some progress in the next month. But that is it. I'm trying to think. Crystal is building a new training program this week. So I might get it next week or the following week. I'm not 100% sure, but this whole week I am going to be training myself the entire week. She will be gone with Heather to Sarasota for the pro show. So yay, I get some alone time. No, I'm just kidding. But I will be filming back day because I had one person ask for back day. Nobody else said anything else. So I will be filming that. And yeah, so that's everything for this week. It's a little bit of a short one. I'm sure y'all are happy it's short because sometimes I get to rambling on and on and on and on. But yeah, so as always, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. Have a great night, day, whatever time it is you're watching this. If you're watching it on Labor Day, I hope that you're able to spend a ton of time with your family. I know personally, I wasn't able to celebrate some of the holidays up until a couple years, like 3 years ago when I started working for my dad. Everywhere I'd worked didn't give us like Labor Day off or places like that because it was either food service when I was younger, book management for grocery stores, which are always open except for on Christmas. And then the other company I worked for before my dad also didn't really give us the, what he called quote unquote small holidays. And I was like, Labor Day's federal. But anyway, it is what it is. But anyways, I understand if you had to work and just know, like, I've been there. It sucks a little bit, but I hope it goes by quick. And then I hope you get to go spend time with your family. But I will see y'all in the next one. Peace.
I've been lost, yeah.
Baby,